Hi guys, hope you're all okay. I thought I'd do a video today on tretinoin, which is a very popular product in the skincare world. Firstly, I have blonde hair now. Yes, finally, thanks to my hairdresser Vicky at Salon Bluebridge North. I am very happy because I wanted blonde hair. So that's a change since I last saw you. Tretinoin is a product that you have to be very careful with, and because of that I need to say that I am not a dermatologist, I am not a doctor. I strongly recommend that you seek guidance of a dermatologist or a doctor before you use something like this. You can only get it on prescription in the UK anyway, so you would have to consult one of those two people in order to get it in the first place. It's something that great care has got to be taken over. There are lots of do's and don'ts when it comes to this product. If you do use it off the back of what I've said, then I strongly suggest that you do a skin test 24 hours before you use it to make sure that you're not having any problems with it. It is vitamin A, so it is a derivative of vitamin A. So some people may be allergic to or have problems with vitamin A. Do you know? Maybe not. Maybe you need to get that checked out before you use it. So tretinoin also uses the name retin-A. There are lots of words, to be honest. It's still relatively new to me and it's a minefield. I still struggle to get my head around so much of this category. I took a lot of advice and did a lot of research before I started to use it, so I know that I'm doing it right and I know that I'm okay to use it, but I still struggle with understanding where it comes from and things like that. But it belongs to a class of medication known as retinoids. It is considered the gold standard of product when it comes to wrinkles and acne. It is literally at the top. But what comes with that is good points and bad points. The good points, it helps to reduce fine lines, wrinkles, melasma, hyperpigmentation, acne, any sun damage. It also deals with brightening your skin. That's something that I've certainly noticed. I've been using it since the 1st of July, and that is the main thing. In some lights, the only thing that I've noticed is that it's brightened my skin. And as I say, I've been using it since the 1st of July. The way it works is, now I'm looking at notes as I always do, because I don't want to do anything wrong or say anything wrong. So the way it works is that it makes the cells in your skin produce more rapidly, so grow more rapidly and die more rapidly, which basically speeds up the turnover of skin cells. So by making them die quicker, it takes away the cells that have got things like acne, pimples, wrinkles, damage, brown spots, things like that. It takes those away quicker. And by increasing the speed of turnover, it means that new cells come through which don't contain those problems. So don't contain acne, don't contain lines, things like that. It isn't an overnight process. It is something that has to be done over time. It's a slow process. You just need to be patient with it. People have different ideas of how long things take, how long things should take. But as a general sort of rough guide, it's believed that to start seeing the results of sun damage should take 3 to 4 weeks. To start seeing the results of brown mark fading, brown spot fading should take about 6 to 8 weeks. When it comes to wrinkles and fine lines, they should start showing an improvement, certainly a reduction in what they look like within about 3 to 6 months. But overall, as a whole, once you start using tretinoin, you should see results of any kind within sort of 8 to 12 weeks. That's regardless of what it is you're trying to deal with. Overall, you should start seeing a difference in 8 to 12 weeks. As I've said, it's only available on prescription in the UK. You would have to go to your GP or you would have to see a private dermatologist. It is expensive. I believe the most popular and probably one of the most only available in this country, the UK, is Abaji. And it's available, as I say, it's on prescription only. I took guidance from a private dermatologist first, but because I wasn't prepared to pay over £100 for a single tube of Obagi Tretinoin, I knew that I could get the product cheaper. I don't really know if I should recommend this or suggest this, but it's not a secret. If you go to Portugal, you can buy Tretinoin in the form of Ketrel, which is what I use, 0.05%. You can buy that for €3 or €4. In this country, the UK, for you to get a tube of Obagi, still at 0.05%, which would be your prescription Tretinoin, it would cost you well over £100. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But then it works in other ways. There are products that are cheaper in the UK than there are in other countries, and there are cheaper products in other countries than there are in the UK. It swings and roundabouts. As I've said, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not a doctor, I am not recommending or suggesting anything. I am simply talking to you about what I use, what I know, what I've researched. And I have introduced this safely into my routine. I didn't just get a tube and then just start shoving it all over my face. You have to be so careful with this because there are a lot of side effects that come with this which aren't nice. Irritation, dryness, skin peeling, increased sun sensitivity, which means that you have to, absolutely no question, well you should anyway, but wear SPF 30 or higher every single day, and you should top it up every 2 hours at least, even more if you're getting wet. So if you're swimming or you're overly sweating, that is an absolute must because it will make your skin more sensitive to the sun, so you are more likely to get sunburnt. You can also get itching, you can also get redness. As a demonstration, I actually have dry skin here at the moment, just to give you an example. This has appeared while I've been at work today because it wasn't there this morning. My dryness has been quite minimal. It's been focused around my mouth and around my nostrils, and I've had a tiny bit here and there on my forehead, but most of it has been focused around my mouth, to the point where after I've put on my skincare, I then have to take a makeup brush and start brushing all of the dead skin, all of the dry skin that has moved around my face from rubbing in my skincare. I have to brush it all off so that I can then put makeup on. It has been that bad. Luckily, I have been able to get it all off. So, as I say, this has only appeared today. I haven't noticed it until I've sat down in front of this camera, and if I'd have noticed it earlier, I would have done something about it. I don't really want to mess with the dry skin though. I don't want to pick it or irritate it or aggravate it. So I am trying to just leave things as they are. I bought a specific makeup brush to brush the skin off so it's not interacting or cross-contaminating with any of my other makeup brushes. I wash it every time I use it. So in the morning is when I use it. As soon as I'm done, I go and wash it just because of germs and things like that. So I am very careful. The irritation can put people off. It is hard work. Some people suffer more than others do. Touch wood. Let me hold on to wood. Touch wood. I have got off quite lightly so far, but I have only been using it since the 1st of July. We are only on the 19th of August, so not very long at all in skincare world really. But I was fully prepared for the side effects. I was fully prepared of the fact that I could get every single one of the side effects that I've just listed. It was a huge possibility. As I said, I've got off quite lightly so far, but I am prepared to put up with them. And you know, some things, if you, at the end of the day, if you want the results, sometimes you've got to go through negative to get to positive, haven't you? If you really want the results, the amazing results that Tretinoin brings. I use Tretinoin for fine lines and wrinkles. I'm only 34, and yes, I know that you're all looking at the screen now thinking, well, you haven't got any fine lines or wrinkles. Yes, I have. As you can see, just from me smiling, you can see all of the lines under my eyes, and I do have lines, as you can now see, on my forehead. So that is the reason that I use Tretinoin, but lots of people use Tretinoin for acne. It is, as I said, the gold standard. It is supposed to be top dog, and if you are able to use it, I highly recommend it. Word of warning, pregnant people and breastfeeding people, or even if you're trying to get pregnant, it's an absolute no-no. There is not enough study or research done yet to say either way whether or not the vitamin A that's in tretinoin could affect your baby. Nobody knows if it gets absorbed by your skin and it goes through the placenta. Nobody knows if it's absorbed by your skin and goes into your breast milk. Because nobody knows that for definite, then it's a no. Do not risk it. Don't even consider it. No doctor or dermatologist would give you a prescription if you were pregnant or breastfeeding, and probably not even if you were trying to get pregnant. And you don't want that anyway. I personally wouldn't run that risk of something happening to my child just for a skincare product. You can do it once you're all sorted and you're not breastfeeding or anything, or you know, things like that. You can sort it all out afterwards. There's no rush. But if you can get onto tretinoin, I highly, highly recommend it. And at the age of 34, I wish I'd have started this in my 20s. There isn't really a strict age limit on starting something like this. I've heard lots of people, professionals, say sort of early to mid 20s is when you should start looking at something like this. Certainly not on a child, and certainly not on a sort of young teenager really. But from the age of 18, you know, you can make your own decision. But then from at that age, have you got wrinkles? Have you got fine lines? Have you got hyperpigmentation? You've probably got acne. And I think it's something that you could consider if you're really suffering with acne. Maybe speak to your parents, or, as I said, you know, go and see a GP, and it may be something that they can suggest to you. But because of the side effects, I think it is something that is a last resort. So be prepared for not being able to get it. In terms of using it, you should only use it at night. Because you have increased sun sensitivity, it's safer to use it at night. Even though the sensitivity still affects you all the time, it's not something you want to go in the sun with. It really isn't. Use it at night without any other actives. So wash your face. It needs to be on a clean, dry face. And when I say dry, I mean after you've washed your face, wait a good 20-30 minutes before you apply it. People have different opinions on whether or not moisturising first is better or worse. It is actually scientifically proven that moisturising before or after makes no difference on the absorption of tretinoin into your skin. The moisturising is simply for the comfort level. If you find it to be more comfortable and to be less irritating to put moisturiser on first, put it on, leave it 30 minutes and then put your tretinoin on. If you're okay with tretinoin going onto bare skin, wait 30 minutes after you've washed your face, put your tretinoin on, and then you can either just leave it from there, or 30 minutes later you can put some moisturiser on top. I have had to, I did start doing it on bare skin, but because of the irritation that I was getting around my mouth and around my nose, I now put moisturiser on those areas, wait 30 minutes. I then put Epionce, which is a medical barrier cream. I put Epionce around my nostrils, and then I put my tretinoin on. In terms of how I actually use it, as I've said, that's the routine that I do. So I wash my face, I leave it 30 minutes to make sure that my skin is completely dry. I then put Epionce through my eyebrows because they are microbladed. I want to protect the pigment in my eyebrows. So I put Epionce through my eyebrows and I put it around my nostrils because literally all here is where I was getting dryness and peeling. And to make matters easier, I actually use a brush because it's more specific, and you know, you don't want to get barrier cream where you don't want Tret to go. So I use this brow brush to go through my brows. I use my little finger to go around my nostrils. I then apply my Ketrel. I do go quite close to my eyes. I didn't start off with, but I do now. But again, I use a makeup brush because it is so careful and neat. I literally go in a circle around my eyes. I do put it on my brow bone. I literally go underneath my eyebrow bone here, and then I come round the top of my nose here, and then I cut just inside. So just inside here, literally on the top of my eye socket, really. So not under, not in. I literally go on the top of my eye socket, and that is as far as I go. And because when I first started skincare, I was a little bit silly. I jumped into a retinol product that was too strong, and I just started lathering it all over my face. Didn't know what I was doing, didn't take any advice whatsoever. And I got burns on my collarbones here. I had 2 burns here, and I had a burn here. and it took a long time for it to go. So because of that, because I'm so worried about something happening to that again, I now only go down as far as where your Adam's apple would be if you had one as a female. So I literally only go down that far. I won't go down any further. And I know that product moves, but I feel that leaving it that high, that's enough, because my collarbones were the worst. So I feel that leaving that much space is enough for the product not to move. Another don't do, when you're using tretinoin, you can't wax, you can't have electrolysis, you can't use hair removal cream. You will literally rip your skin off, for want of a better phrase. I have seen pictures of people that have just simply, without thinking, gone for a wax, have their eyebrows waxed, and they have literally had a layer of skin taken off all around their eyebrows. Don't do it, because something like that, it will mean that you can't use certainly tretinoin, if not most skincare products on your face for months. You will have to use medication to try and fix it. It's just a no. And as well, you can't just start putting this on your face every night. It's a slow process. You have to be patient. As I said, I took advice and guidance. I did my own research. I started this every third night for a couple of weeks. And then I realised my face was fine and it was fully accepting of that. I then went to every second night for a couple of weeks. And again, my skin was accepting of that. It was fine. And I then went to every night. So I've been every night now for just over 2 weeks, or thereabouts. You don't want to mess with it. I have seen people that, yes, okay, everyone's different. Yes, okay, trial and error and things like that. But I have seen people, there is one Instagram account in particular, who I won't name, but putting it on wet skin, using it with other retinoid products in the same routine, only using it for a handful of days and already straight up to every night, exfoliating, as in, you know, proper exfoliating, having laser treatment on their face and still thinking that it's okay to use this. Absolutely ridiculous. Yes, everybody is individual. Yes, each to their own, but have some common sense. If someone tells you this is prescription for a reason, this comes in different percentages for a reason. If you're going to use something like this, then you need to do your research. You need to know what you're doing, and you don't want to mess with it, because at the end of the day, if you rip half your face off because it just melts, because you've completely messed this up, you've gone against all guidance and you've just done your own thing, then you've only got yourself to blame, really. That sounded really harsh, I'm sorry, but it just really frustrates me that there is so much guidance and research out there. It's prescription for a reason, and yet people just go off and do all the things that they've been told not to do. And then they'll start moaning on Instagram or Facebook or wherever when it all goes wrong. I just find that so frustrating. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. That was a little bit of a rant, didn't mean to do that. So yeah, so that is that's my video on tretinoin. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's given you some tips. As I've said, take guidance from a dermatologist or a GP before you get it. You really do need to know what you're doing. If you want to leave any comments down the bottom, any questions, any suggestions, any good tips, bad tips, anything you want, please feel free to comment below. I'd really love it if you'd subscribe. I'm really trying to get my subscribers up. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, I absolutely don't mind if you want to leave it a thumbs down. That's absolutely fine with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like my hair. And as well, I've got makeup on today. I'm not sure if anyone's noticed. I've got makeup on, I have jewellery on. You can tell that I'm back at work. You can tell that I've been sat here for 3.5 months with no makeup, because all of a sudden I'm going out into the world and I have to wear makeup. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know what you want to see next by commenting below, and don't forget to subscribe. See you later. Bye.